do you think, Fleur?
About those four, the Bhakti, the one that I probably struggle with the most.
Well, think of Bhakti as meditation. Because what is the practice of meditation? It is dissolving the sense of there being you and other. Bhakti is not you in relation to someone else. The deity is a symbol of your higher self, the self that is not muddied and bound and petty in the Fleur story, but is in the great Fleur story. Can you surrender your individuality to your higher self? And that is the meditation. And that is why meditation, along with this knowledge, is so important. Otherwise, it's just, as I said, like you're in a university PhD class studying philosophy. And that's why this knowledge, this tradition, is not described as a philosophy. It is described as darshan. And darshan is the seer. Darshan is the vision itself. To have the vision, to have the enlightenment, to have the revelation, the realization is the darshan. To have this darshan, to have this ability to be awake to our highest self. It has been screaming at us to recognize ourselves. That's why we suffer. But we say we suffer because of my work, because of my partner, because this situation and that situation. We actually suffer because we don't identify ourselves as the being who is actually speaking, and the one who is seeing through the eyes, the one who is feeling through the touch of our hands, the one who is thinking through the mind. But we say, no, I am the thoughts themselves. No, you are the one who is thinking through the thoughts. The one who is knowing rather than what is known. And it's calling you to wake up, to know yourself, and to align not only in the satsang, but to bring that into everything. So think of Bhakti Yoga as dissolving of two. And the pathway to that is meditation. There's not two Fleurs. But you also can't say that this body is the sole totality of Fleur. Right? You can't say even body and mind is the totality of Fleur. Little trickier, you see, because what is the mind? More subtle. So she could easily agree to, yes, I know that Fleur is not only the body. Then I said body and mind. And she had to think about that. But when our mind is asleep, do you exist? When the mind says one thing and you decide to go against that which it is saying, let's say it says, I want to go and scream at that person because I hate them. And then something says, don't do that. Why not? Who is that? Who is looking at the mind and saying, I'm not going to be you. So that's what we have to discover in meditation. And that's essentially what the fundamental practice of meditation. You observe the thoughts, knowing yourself as the seer or knower, not the thoughts. The thoughts cannot define you. And that practice dissolves the sense that there is a separate you. There's a separate body you. There's a separate personality you. There's a separate circumstantial you. And there's a separate mother. You're not mother to Maria's children. You're mother to your children. But if you keep going back, the seer is not separate. And that is the opening of the real realization that we all have come to satsang to discover.
Common three.
Yeah. What is that which is unified?
So what pranayama did you do?
Ultimately leading to what I have found the most powerful is kumbhak. To be able to suspend the breath in such a way that you are not holding the breath, but you are sitting completely free and completely without any tension, not even needing to breathe. And even though it's for a few moments, it is powerful. It channels that energy like nothing else I have discovered, and opens that sixth chakra, the third eye, and thereby the seventh chakra, sastra, naturally opens. So those are the ones that I mostly lean on. Alternate nostril breathing, ujjayi breath, the channeled breath, and the humming breath, the brahmari. They're all down-regulating the nervous system. Same with mantra. Ram, hum. What is mantra? It's a hum. Hum, om. And then ultimately, come back. Stillness. You got to do the work, ultimately. Don't ignore it. And you don't need to do hours like the yogis did. We have developed since then. We were those yogis. We've done all that work. Hours and hours and hours and hours of Hatha Yoga meditation, pranayama. Now we can tune in a moment. If you can devote 15 or 20 minutes of your day, and if you can't devote 15, 20 minutes, devote 7 minutes to your day. And if you can't devote 7 minutes, even 3 minutes will unlock your potential, because you'll be devoted to doing it regularly. If you did 3 minutes regularly, it would work, because there'll be such a concentrated space. I've only got 3 minutes. And no one has the excuse not to do 3 minutes, because you spend 3 minutes brushing your teeth twice a day. So that's 6 minutes plus 1 minute, 7 minutes. You can do 7 minutes. But it means just make it important. Reflecting upon, I am the seer. Be with that for a few moments. I am the seer. What does that mean? How can I know that fully? Why it's so important to be still and to close our eyes and be inwardly reflective is because the eyes dissipate a lot of energy. Just be still. There's a lot of energy in your hands. Can you turn them inward? And can you close your eyes? All the senses, once you stop feeding their outward direction, will naturally start to calm. You just got to do it regularly. And it becomes natural. Unity is our natural state. We're not trying to reach a state other than what we are. We are returning back to our inner self. So once you practice that, and the more you do that, even at the beginning, it can be difficult. That's why I do put satsangs on YouTube. I don't expect to have to listen to the whole thing. It's a hook. It just hooks your mind into something that is not your own story. It's a helpful transition. And it's hard to sit with closed eyes because you've got your story going on, and that story sometimes is not what you want to sit with. So I say, listen to the satsangs. It doesn't have to be mine. Listen to something that takes you away from the troubles of the world. Who's done right? Who's done wrong? Start singing another song, not the who's done me wrong song. It's like no one has done you wrong and you've done no wrong. That song, yes. Sing the Who Am I song. I am the seer, ever present, ever pure, ever free. That song is Amara Muhammad Raman. Sing that song. Use mantra. That's the most powerful. Hatha yoga is fantastic. Pranayama is fantastic. Mantra is even more fantastic. So if you have to choose, you've only got 7 minutes, do mantra. But I discovered it through that tradition. It's not a better or a worse. And that's what I realized. That's what I love about India. It gave me a revelation and ability to be in touch with the subtle, which I am now calling the seer. There usually is some adversity that we get damn fed up with the me and the you, the goods and the bads, trying to be right and feeling wrong. And at a certain point, something drives us in the dissatisfaction and the unsettledness of the division to come into unity. Lucky are we that we had enough adversity to put some fire under ourselves and start to ask the real questions, which is to say, what is the purpose of me being here? That's the question that brought us all here. Am I on earth to suffer, to be victim of division, and by division then prejudice, hatred, smallness, insecurity, fear, anxiety, tensions? Is that the purpose? Or is my purpose to come out of all those things and to be free of smallness, tensions, agitations? Am I on earth just to feel angry at everyone who doesn't do what I want them to do? Is that my purpose? Or feel intimidated by people? Obviously not. So if we've had the amazing fortune that something has pushed us to ask that question, what is my purpose? And freed up our lives enough to devote 7 minutes of our lives cultivating a mastery of the answer. I am the ever-free being. I have always been the ever-free being, but I became forgetful because of the mixture of the seer with matter, with the machine, with the mechanism, with the instrumentality, body-mind, and it became mixed. And we unmix that through our knowledge and our understanding of it. We unmix it. And then in that, it becomes supremely channeled. That's peace. Peace is not your circumstances. Let's close our eyes. We'll just take the next 10 minutes together, where we know each other on this deeper level, or as I'm describing today, the unseen, conscious being, that we all are of the same unseen, conscious being. But being unseen does not mean it does not exist. You have a body, and you have a mind, and you have an ego. And they're very finely, energetically balanced mechanisms. But who are you? The governing power, the knowing power, the pure existence. And this needs to be realized so that we can have a more harmonious, integrated relationship with our bodies, with our minds, with our people, with our work. It comes from inside to out, not from out. It doesn't come from the external. It must come from within, and then it spills over, because you realize there is no separation between within and without. It is all the same being, dancing through the body, dancing with thoughts, playing with ideas, playing with speech. Same being that is hearing. But are we turning that which we hear against us? Or are we taking that which we hear, including hearing our own story, to know ourselves at this deepest, most subtle state of being. I am pure, free, ever present. I am Amaram and Madhuram. Don't force meditation. Everything is already open. Just be still. No forcing, not even any doing. You are pure being. You don't become being. And that is the word hum. I am. Hum. I am. And that is the mantra of the third eye. I am. We say words like pure perception, indestructible, ever present, unchanging, blissful. These words are to sing the song, I am. Just be with I am.